look at their defensive numbers, they're holding people, I think, 34% from the floor and 28 from three. They're really good. I mean, they've always been very good defensively. Leonard's teams have always been very sticky and tough to score on. But, we still got to show up and play the game.
Is this going to be one of those games where you've talked a lot about playing stronger, but this is really going to be important tonight with the inside game they have?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to play strong. We have to play smart, too. I think part of our problem offensively, the more you watch us, is that we come down, we're a little impatient. We don't know when to go from primary to secondary break to half-court offense. We kind of stay in primary break mode, trying to score fast, trying to out-quick people instead of recognizing if we have numbers, then go ahead and be aggressive. If we don't have numbers, we have the numbers advantage. See what happens.
It seems like Florida State's still trying to find their way, too. I mean, they've had some games where they've had some blowouts, and then they struggled a little against Georgia State last night. They were tied with Auburn going into the final minute. I guess first ACC game is really going to see where everyone's at.
You're talking to a coach, so you have to excuse my answer.
Yeah.
The other guys are trying too. It's not all about Florida State struggling. I think if you look at it that way, it's easy to say, well, Florida State's playing as well. But, maybe Georgia State had a pretty good night. Maybe Auburn had a really good night. I look at the stat sheet, and Auburn made 13 threes. That's a lot of threes. You make 13 threes, you can stay in any game. With that said, I'm sure they're going through what any team would go through. They're trying to replace a player as great as Tony Douglas. Tony Douglas meant so much to them in terms of running and setting the table in the half-court offense, getting a lot of easy baskets from through steals. So, we're barely a third of the way through the schedule. 9-2, I'm sure London will take that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, they are. I'm sure they're making some adjustment to life without Tony.
We talked to Ghani a little bit about what he expects tonight from their strong inside game. Do you think there's going to be maybe less double and triple teaming, maybe more man up?
They haven't shown a lot of doubles and triples, but I'm not sure they've played against anybody that has a combination like Derek and Ghani and scored as much. But I don't think they'll double, but we have to be prepared for anything. I think if you watched the Chattanooga game, you watched the game the other night, you think, okay, if you double, you might have a chance to turn them over a little bit. So our guys got to be prepared for that.
So you're interested to see how Derek will do when he turns around. There's a 7-footer in front of him.
I'm sure Derek he'll be a little more alert than he was against Pine Bluff. He just want to turn around and throw it up into the guy's hand.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of could go a long way for his confidence if he comes into a game like this against good inside players.
Yeah, obviously I've only coached him a few games now, but I think Derek is one of those guys that will rise to the occasion. And especially, it's good for him to play this game after 9 games in. So it's not like the first time when you played against physical competition like you did against Dayton. I think he'll respond well. I got a hunch he will.
Is Singleton a better matchup for him than Solomon, or?
Well, Singleton will probably play the 3. That's what the line they went back to last night.
Okay.
So you'll probably see DeAndre on Singleton.
Okay.
And he'll probably guard Reed or Solomon Oliver. But I think Derek is capable of guarding a kid like Singleton. One of the things that's impressed me about Derek is that he can guard in the perimeter very well for a man his size.
So it's a nice stall.
That's me all the time. Excuse me one second.